Hey everyone, it's Meridy. Welcome back. I am here today with my 5th process video using the Good Life Limitless and Essentials Kit. And let me show you what I've got here today. In this caddy, I've just got all my little bits and pieces that are in the kit. They store really nicely in this little caddy, along with my sequin and trim and some mixed media. So I'm just gonna set that right over here. And I'm going to start today. I'm going to be scrapbooking this picture of my son. It was when he had his first interview for his first job and he got the job. So he is really excited in that picture. He's like, came home and was filling out the paperwork online. I pulled a lot of little bits and pieces here. The phrase, be brave. I'll tell the story of how he got this job shortly. This one says, believe in your dreams, and that will all make sense when I tell you this story. A little tab, the word congratulations, a day to remember, for the record, you're gonna be, kid, you're gonna be great, documented, a couple more little stars, a frame, amazing, this little scallop thing, take note, a little binder clip, follow your dreams, another little tab. This one says absolutely fabulous. This one says dare to dream. This one says happy. Another binder clip, one of a kind, and some frames. So I've got lots and lots of little pieces because there's only one 3x4 photo on this layout. And then I've got my scraps. This is going to represent my journaling, but not really. Like, my journaling for this story is really long. It's like a whole paragraph typed out on the computer. So my journaling is, instead of being short little thing like this, it's going to be quite a bit, like probably like a third of the page. So I need to keep that in mind when I'm creating this page because it's a long story. I've got my color swatch here, which I created in the unboxing video. You can watch me make that there. And then I've got some scraps that I have left from other layouts. I've got my wood grain layout, which I probably won't really use on this page. It's just kind of really neutral and not very exciting. I've got this striped paper, which is polka dots on the back, which I could use, but I have another paper that I really want to use. Let me just grab that first so I really want to use this page. I think it looks great with the colors in my pictures, his green shirt and our red wall. It just looks really good with that. I can even frame his little picture in that frame. And then all of these pieces, just throwing them on this page to just show, I love all those colors together. So this is gonna be a main part of my layout. It might not be the whole background because if you know me, you know that I don't like fully patterned backgrounds usually. But that's going to be a big chunk of the background. And the back of this is trees, so it really has nothing to do with my layout at all, the B side. Let's see, I've got a scrap of white paper left. I've got this little scrap left from the last layout, but I don't really think that I will use it. I could use it like this because it matches really well. But I think I'll probably save it to probably use that side on a layout. I have this navy paper, which is birthday on the back. I could use some of that. The navy kind of makes that line pop. And then I have this rust color paper, which I also like. It's just got speech bubbles on the back. I like the rust side. I really like these 3 colors together with all of the things. Okay, so I think that's gonna mainly be how my layout comes together. And then I've got these happy birthday stickers, but it does say cheers, celebrate, celebrate king for the day. Nah, that doesn't really make sense. The cheers to you. We probably won't use any of those for this, so, because those are really heavily birthday themed. And then I've got this Dream Big little boy paper. I mean, not paper, sticker sheet. but I like the scallops. I bet I could find little pieces to use in here. The little car, because he'll be, you know, driving himself to work. Kid, you're gonna be great, but I've already cut that out of there. Yeah, so I can use things from here. And then I've, of course, got my alphabets. And I really kind of want to write "You Did It" for my title, like really big. So I think I'm gonna grab 3 rulers. I'm gonna spell out in these larger letter font at the bottom, "You Did It." And that way I can move these around the page while I'm creating. So I can like make my title be integral to the whole design. So I will be right back when I get these words on the little rulers. Okay, I've got the "You Did It" and an exclamation point there, so I can put that on the page as I see fit. Let's see here. I'm gonna grab a piece of white paper. I think I would like to do a little mixed media on the background, kind of using some of these colors just to make it a little more interesting. I really like the aged mahogany, the rusty hinge, and the speckled egg distress oxide spray. And I think I want to make kind of a watercolory background. And I'm just gonna start making it in the middle because, again, I only have one small picture. So there's not that much place that's gonna be covered totally by pictures. And I just might use little scraps of these papers. Let me think where I want to use the majority of this paper though. Maybe I could make it run down the side. And I do have like a huge chunk of journaling that is going to take up a lot of space. I think I'm just going to cut this paper 4 inches wide and 7 inches tall. So that's a 4x7 piece. And I'm going to go ahead and mat this picture in the frame. So that way I can at least just be working with the right sizes of things. Yeah, because on second thought, before I do all this background mixed media, I do kind of want to get set up what my layers are going to be like. I just want to include a little bit of this blue paper, so I'm just going to cut it 4 inches off the end, and it is already 5 inches tall. So this little piece is 4 inches by 5 inches. Okay, so I've got that. And then for this piece, I think I just want to put a little strip going down somehow. Let's see. I'll cut a 1.5 inch strip of paper, and then I can cut this down as I see fit. Maybe I want it like that. Maybe I want it over here. That kind of looks nice. So I'm gonna cut 3 inches. So this paper is now 1.5 inches by 9 inches. Okay. And I kind of like it like this. And I'm going to put it up a little so I can have a lot of space for my journaling down here. And then I'm going to adhere these pieces together so that they're easy to move around. And then I will get to work on doing the mixed media in the background because I'm excited to work on that. And then I can add all of the little embellishments at the end, like all of the stuff that I pulled to use. Okay guys, so that's the base of that. And now I'm gonna put my mixed media around it. And you know what I think I'm gonna do for this, because I don't want this paper to become all warped and wet, I'm gonna grab a piece of the Vicki Boutin Foundations paper and a cup of water. got this foundations paper here. And this is going to be the background of my layout. That way it won't get all warped from putting too much water just on regular white cardstock. I think I kind of want to make this fairly painted. I don't want to paint a lot on it. Okay. So if I'm gonna set my picture there, I think I should start with the color. I think I'm gonna start with the blue color. And I think I want it to be like a little bit of light blue over there, a little bit of red here, and a little bit of rusty hinge up here, but kind of also want them to blend together. So I'm gonna get this a little watered down so I'm not using it at full strength. And I'm also going to put water on my layout and just start doing little blurbs. Okay. Let me get a paper towel. I'm going to get a tiny little bit more down here, just to kind of bring that color over there a little bit more. But then I'm gonna come in, I'll use the rusty hinge next. And again, I'm gonna spray it with some water. So it's just basically like the ink colors of it. I think I wanted rusty hinge up there. And I kind of want these colors to start blending into each other, but I don't want to make a big giant mess of color either. So I'm kind of letting them just get close, and I will blend them into each other more at the end when you see what I do. Then this is the aged mahogany. And like I said, I know I've got stuff going in the middle, so that's why I'm not as concerned about that. And then now to really blend where the colors meet, I can just kind of spray some water at the seam, and then the colors really blend together. Yep, I kind of like this. I think I need a little bit more up here. Okay, I'm gonna take this outside and let it dry, and I will be back. All right, guys, it's almost all the way dry. I am gonna add a few little splatters right now before I add everything else. And I'm just gonna add my splatters where that color is. So where there's already blue, I'm gonna add the blue splatters, just a few. And then I happen to have Rusty Hinge Mist or Distress Spray. So I'm gonna use that instead of using the ink pad. And I'm just gonna kind of put this where the orange and the red are, because you may have heard me say before that I don't particularly love using red splatters a lot because it looks like blood to me. And I don't like that. So instead of the aged mahogany making the splatters, I'm gonna use a little bit of this mica mist in gold. Actually, I take it back. I'm gonna use some of this iced spruce Distress Oxide spray because it's a little gray, and I've got lots of gray in these embellishments. So I'm just gonna put a couple little places. And most of that is gonna be covered up, guys. So I am gonna have to turn off the camera and allow this to dry, and I will be right back. Okay, guys, finally everything's dry. And I've got this going right about there. I wanna leave a big chunk down here, if you remember, for my journaling, because it's extensive. Congratulations. Oh, maybe I can make it, you did it way over here so you can read it better. That looks kind of funny though. Let's see what happens if I move it over here. I don't want to put it too low because I have a lot of journaling that needs to go down there. I really like my congratulations up there. So I think I might just have to move the "you did it." I'll keep it like this for now. Okay, I have so many things. I've got this, kind of like that. Let's see. I want to get the most important pieces out of here that I like. I want to put down first, and then the other extra ones I can add at the end. So I really like this one. Again, I don't want too much down here. For the record, day to remember. I feel like I can put something over here. Follow your dreams. So the point of this, the story I was going to tell you guys with this, well, I'm placing things down in all these different places. So my son really loves to cook and really loves to bake. And there was a sushi restaurant called Rock and Roll Sushi coming in our neighborhood, really close to our house. It was the only one in Tucson. And they had started construction on it. They've been talking about it for months and months. And they finally started construction on it. And this past summer, it had, they were working on it. And he took it upon himself to go down there like literally every day for probably 3 weeks to the construction, hoping to find, hoping to run into a manager or owner or someone at some point when he would just stop in there. And every day he would just pop open the door and ask if there was a manager there. And every day there was not a manager there. Until finally one day there was. And the manager called whoever does the hiring. And before he could even drive home, they were already calling him. Oh, he brought his resume down there with him, which he's only 16 years old. So his resume included things like pet sitting and clubs at school and things like that. It wasn't like an extensive resume that he's been working at all these restaurants or anything. So he had his little resume that he made himself, and he was so persistent, and they gave him an interview like 2 days later, which is this day. They called him. Oh, I was gonna say they called him even before he got home from running into whoever it was that was working, and the hiring manager was already calling him and setting up an interview. So that was on a Friday. The interview was on Monday, and before he even left the interview, they told him he had a job, and he was so excited. And it's totally because it's so hard for these kids to get jobs nowadays, like first jobs where we live. My daughter had a really hard time finding a job too. And these are just like entry-level positions, guys. We're not talking about career jobs here. So it's really difficult where we are right now to find jobs. So I was super proud of him. He was really proud of himself. He worked really hard by going down there every single day, basically all summer, until he found someone. But he did it. So that is the story of this layout. Anyway, I wonder, that really doesn't need to be there. And like I said, I have that all typed up in a really long paragraph to go on there. I like this little "Be Brave." Okay, I think that I got a lot of things down. I'm gonna go off camera. I'm gonna adhere them down. I'm gonna ink the edges of this in the speckled egg distress oxide, this scallop thing, because it's just not really, it's kind of blending to the background there. So other than that, I'm going to go adhere everything down and I will be right back when I finish. All right, guys. I tried to erase some of these little spots where I smeared the paint. I'm just using this Mono Tombow sand eraser. These are in our Amazon store that I will link in the description of this video. Our Amazon store has all kinds of things like the glitter glue and my organization things, the little clear envelopes that I use to store these pieces, all kinds of stuff that we don't sell in the store, we put on our Amazon storefront. So if you're ever interested, you might want to check that out. I think that I am just, well, here's another little smudge that I don't like. It's like I thought everything was dry and then it wasn't, and I just started smearing things all over the paper, of course, naturally. Okay, guys, so my journaling, oops, instead of just using these little tiny journaling cards to show you where I would put it, if I just had a little bit of journaling, I would probably put it just right there. But I have this giant piece of journaling. So I'm gonna cut it into strips, and I am just gonna place it across the bottom just in really long strips to tell my story, because this is a long story and I'm really proud of him. And I'll probably put it just right in the middle like this. So I know you can't read it. It's got too much personal information on there. That's why I didn't flip it the other way, but it's on the back of that in a big paragraph, and I'll just cut it into strips. So let me see. I added one more heart down here, and I think that pretty much is the rest of this layout. I really would like to outline it and do my little scribbles. And what I'm going to do today, instead of using the pen to scribble, although it's super easy for me to do that because I'm used to doing my scribbles, I'm going to show you how to do the scribbles with our Scribbles, Stitches, and Splatters stamp set, because I want you to use your stamp sets that you've purchased. And I know a lot of you have purchased this stamp set because it is by far the most popular stamp set that we have ever designed here at Not Just for Boys. So what I'm first going to do is I'm just going to go around with a pen and just make an outline around the layout. Then I'm going to grab the stamp set here. And the scribbles are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 different scribbles on here. So I'm just going to grab a couple of them, just one at a time, and put them on a stamp block and get my black ink. And then I can just, this is the easiest way to do scribbles. They're already scribbled for you. You just stamp it right over where you drew your line. It could not be easier to make scribbles on your page than this. And I'll get a couple other ones too. I had to get my little stamp chamois wet so I could clean the stamps. The stamp chamois is also in our Amazon storefront. Like I said, basically everything that I use that we do not sell at Not Just for Boys is in that Amazon storefront. And we make a small commission off of all the goodies there. So let's see here. And I'll use it. Like I said, there's 6 different scribbles. So I'll use a few. And sometimes I put them close together. Sometimes I space them far apart. I think I've got enough on there. I don't think I need to continue adding any more. But I wanted to use that stamp set just to demonstrate it to you. And you know what, guys? What I thought right after I did that, I'm gonna grab my defined stamp set and I'm gonna put some things on here. I'm going to put this Fearless because I really think it took a lot of guts for him to do this. I like triple stamping like that. And I think I'll put another couple words on here. I think I need to put "you did it." Even though I already titled it "you did it," I think it will just really finish off the layout. And if you were inspired by this layout, whether it was to recreate this layout exactly how I did here today, or if it was to just pull out your the Good Life kit, or if it was to pull out supplies and recreate this layout, you know, with the same layout with just different supplies, we would love to see it, your creations on our Not Just for Boys Kit Club community page. If you love our kits, you might want to subscribe to them. We have a subscription option that has some perks, which I will link in the description of this video. If you like our videos here on YouTube, you might want to subscribe to our YouTube channels, as I put up about 8 process videos a month using our current month's kit. And next month for 12 Days of Christmas, I'm going to be putting 12 videos up. You can read all about what is coming up for December with our 12 Days of Christmas series in the video that I posted on November 6th. So you could just scroll back a few videos and see that. But thank you guys so much. I will see you back here with our 6th video using the Good Life kit here in just a couple of days. Okay, bye.